Okay, so let's start with the passives. Let's start with the bad ones, which I call the red tier because all are negative passives and you want to avoid. Okay, Coward, which decreases the attack by 10%. Pacifist decreases attack by 20%. Downtrodden decreases defense by 10%. And Brittle decreases defense by 20%. Clumsy decreases work speed by 10%. Slacker decreases work speed by 30%. Glutton, hunger drops 10% faster. Bottomless Stomach, hunger drops 15% faster. Unstable, sanity drops 10% faster. Destructive, sanity drops 15% faster. Let's get to the white tier. Brave, attack 10%. Hardskin, defense 10%. Nimble speed, speed 10%. Dainty Eater, hunger drops 10% slower. Positive thinker, sanity drops 10% slower. Impatient, cooldown minus 15%. It's the skills cooldown, by the way. Nocturnal, this makes you help to work the pals at night also. Fit as a fiddle, stamina increases by 25%. Now there are elemental buffs and resist of basic tier which increases and decreases damage by 10%. Let's discuss the 10% increasing damage elemental passives first. Pyromaniac, which increases fire damage. Hydromaniac, which increases water damage. Fragrant Foliage for grass. Capacitor for electric. Coldblooded for ice. Power of Gaia for ground. Zen Mind for neutral. Wheel of Darkness for dark. And Blood of the Dragon for dragon. For the resist, Suntan Lover for fire. Waterproof for water. Botanical Barrier for grass. Insulated Body for electric. Heated Body for ice. Earthquake Resistant for ground. Abnormal for neutral. Cherry for dark. And Dragon Killer for dragon. Now for the silver tier of passives, in which there is a sudden increase but a decrease in other stat also in some of these passives. So yeah, let's get into it. Serious, work increases by 20%. Work slave, work speed increases by 30%, but attack also decreases by 30%. Runner, speed increases by 20%. Hooligan, attack increases by 15% and work speed decreases by 10%. Sadist, attack increases by 15% and defense decreases by 15%. Masochist, defense increases by 15% and attack decreases by 15%. Conceited, work increases by 10% and defense decreases by 10%. Aggressive, attack increases by 10% and defense decreases by 10%. Now for the gold tier. Legend, attack plus 20%, defense plus 20%, and speed plus 15%. Lucky, work plus 15% and attack plus 15%. Musclehead, attack plus 30% and work speed decreases by 50%. Artesian, work increases by 50%. Ferocious, attack increases by 20%. Burly Body, defense decreases by 20%. Serenity, skill cooldown decreases by 30% and attack increases by 10%. Swift, speed increases by 30%. Infinite Stamina, stamina increases by 50%. Philanthropist, breeding speed increases by 100%. Noble, the selling price of the PAL increases by 5%. Find Force, sell price increases by 3% and can be stackable with Noble. Motivational Leader, player work speed increases by 25%. Mind Foreman, player mining increases by 25%. Logging Foreman, player logging increases by 25%. Vanguard, player attack increases by 10%. Stronghold Strategist, player defense increases by 10%. Workaholic, sanity drops 15% slower. Diet Lover, hunger drops 15% slower. Mercy Hit, attack leave enemy at 1 HP, which means you cannot kill. Now for the Emperors. The Emperor passives are simply good amount of elemental boost which you can get from the alpha pals on the map. So let's start. Flame Emperor from Blazamut, which increases 20% fire. Spirit Emperor, Lylene, which increases 20% grass. Ice Emperor from Frostallion, which increases 20% ice. Earth Emperor from Anubis, which increases 20% ground. Celestial Emperor from Palladius, which increases 20% neutral. Lord of the Lightning, which increases 20% electric. Lord of the Sea from German Tide, which increases 20% water. Lord of the Underworld, which increases 20% dark from Necromus. Divine Dragon, which increases 20% dragon damage from Jet Dragon. Now let's talk about the raid boss passives. These are the passives you can exclusively get from the raid bosses only. First, Scion of the Void increases 30% dark damage and 30% ice damage from Bellinor. Second, Eternal Flame increases 30% fire and 30% electric from Blizzard. Savior increases 30% neutral and 30% grass from Hertalis. And Invader, which increases 30% dark damage, and it's from Xenolod. Now let's get to the God tier, the tier 4 of passives, which are Remarkable Craftsmanship, which increases work speed by 75%, Demon God, which increases attack by 30% and defense by 5%, Diamond Body, which increases defense plus 30%, Eternal Engine, which increases max stamina by 75%, Vampiric, which helps in lifesteal, Heart of the Immovable King, Sanity drops 20% slower, Mastery of Fasting, Hunger drops 20% slower, Lunker, which increases 20% water, 20% ice, and 20% defense.